Like, I also don't think the goal of her campaign is to win. The goal of her campaign, I think, is to, pull support from Trump, pull money from Trump, and, get in the way of a Trump landslide. I think that's the whole point.
I disagree with that. I mean,
you think she has a real point?
I think that the goal of the Nikki Haley campaign, and I think she's actually even made this quite clear where she's kind of said the quiet part out loud. Like, didn't she say, I think over the last week, she said, like, well, if there are going to be legal cases against Donald Trump, they shouldn't wait till after the election.
Well, yes, she did say that for sure.
Look, there's been a whole, obviously, look, as I'm sure almost everyone here knows, our government is not actually run by elected representatives.
What?
I'm sorry to shock everyone here, but there are unelected, shadowy figures who have far more power than even the president of the United States has. The head of the Federal Reserve has far more power than the president of the United States have. The head of the CIA has far more power than the president of the United States has. And all of the really powerful people have signaled that under no circumstances will Donald Trump be allowed to be president of the United States again. And Nikki Haley is playing the game of, let me hang out here and see if by some other forces Donald Trump is removed and then I get the nomination. But that's the only game. So I don't completely disagree with you. Mm-hmm. I'm just making the point that I do think she sees a path. It's not an electoral path to victory, but she sees a path of something happens to Trump, he's taken out of the equation, and I get the nomination.
A procedural path, if you
yes.
would. I love making this reference because it's from a children's show, but it's I think it's Justice League. Lex Luthor, the comic book supervillain who hates Superman, is running for president. And when one of the heroes confronts him, Luthor says, "Do you have any idea how much power I would have to give up to be president?" Right. It's fascinating to me that even children's programming thinks 10, 12-year-old boys who watch superhero shows are smart enough to understand your government is not run by politicians, but by powerful corporate interests.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And not just, look, obviously there's corporate interests and money interests who have tremendous influence over our government. But I'm saying even within the government apparatus itself, look, Chuck Schumer famously said the quiet part out loud when he was in an impromptu way on Rachel Maddow's show. This was in 2017. It was, I believe, in January, either December 16 or January 17. It was when Trump was president-elect, before he had been sworn in. And Rachel Maddow, if you ever watch it, she kind of interrupts and she goes, look, this wasn't on the program, but Donald Trump just tweeted this. Have you seen what he tweeted? And he tweeted something criticizing the CIA. And Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, with no hesitation went, I mean, man, that's really stupid to criticize the CIA because they have 6 ways from Sunday to get back at you. And so he just let you know that the commander-in-chief dare not criticize his intelligence agencies who work for him because they will ruin you. But by the way, what happened? Oh yeah, they framed him for treason. Yeah, for 3 years after that. So and then look, just think about the whoever runs the Federal Reserve. I mean, you want to get reelected or something like that, they could just be like, okay, I'm jacking interest rates up by 2 points. Mm-hmm. You're done. You have no shot. That's it. So look, we all talk about like politics and government all the time. And it's like, if we're talking about it and you don't recognize this reality, we're almost not even really talking about the thing that we're talking about. This government is not run by the politicians who we elect, if that's even right. So, but whatever. I'm not questioning any elections. I would never do that. Not on YouTube.
You're allowed
to. Every election is legitimate.
You're allowed to.
Are we allowed to now?
Yeah, they changed the rules like a year ago.
Don't make claims about it that you can't back up.
I'm not making any claims.
But
I'm saying that if elections are even legitimate, it doesn't really matter because none of those people run the government.